Good afternoon and welcome to our concert. Well, I guess it's still morning. We usually have afternoon concerts. Welcome to the Central Wisconsin Honors Orchestra Festival concert. This is the third year that we're doing this event, and it's always a big thrill to see the evolution from the Friday night rehearsal to what you're going to hear this morning. The kids have worked really hard. They came very well prepared. And we're just really excited to be able to offer this experience to these students. Parents, I especially want to thank you because you're really an integral part of music education study. Without you to provide these kinds of events and opportunities for your child, the motivation, or when you do, I should say, when you provide these kinds of opportunities, your child's motivation and engagement just increase tenfold. And you never know when the seeds of what they catch from this kind of event will bear fruit later on. So and that's kind of the purpose. I'll talk a little bit more about that toward the end of the concert. But I do want to take some time to thank people that really are all the faculty volunteer for this event. So I want to first of all thank Mrs. Kiefert and Mrs. Butler, your child's string teachers. Friday evening and Saturday and do all the organization in a very difficult situation in school where the children are only getting 20 minutes of lesson every 6 days. That's amazing what they accomplish with your children in that amount of time. So I think they really deserve our biggest thanks. And secondly, I'd like to thank the Aber Suzuki Center faculty who have served as sectional leaders. I think we have Mr. Soler in the back, who's with the violin. Ovia is our new viola violin teacher, and she had the lead to play in the symphony for their rehearsal. The Central Wisconsin Symphony rehearsal is this afternoon, and their concert is tonight. And a very special thanks to Dr. Tim Muchlefner, who served not only as a cello sectional leader, but also organized the event and is the conductor of the orchestra. So let's give without further ado, the Central Wisconsin Orchestra, Honors Orchestra. just gather and support one another. And that's actually how this started. We, music teachers from the public school and the Aber Suzuki Center, we all feel very passionate about the fact that music is a right for everyone. Everyone has the right to learn to play an instrument and to make music in their lives. And actually, it's a gift that you're giving your children for their entire lifetime. Unlike sports, which we tend to play until we're in our maybe 20s or so, but then that kind of wanes a little bit. And I'm not saying we shouldn't be active, but music is something that you can do until you're 60 or 80 or 100, right? So that's kind of how this started, as a way to support one another. And there's been lots of studies that have been done, just that I read about lately, about how music education is directly correlates to the success in one's school career and in one's professional career. And it actually is it was a study that they did over 10 years, and it was covered many different demographics of race and socioeconomic standing. And they actually, there was a correlation between the number of years children were in music and how successful they were in their professional life. So I think that's something to be thinking about. As string teachers, we also knew that there was a long startup period before you get to do the good stuff. I mean, you don't sound good right away. It's hard to make a tone on a string instrument and sound really good, and consequently, you tell somebody, at least I used to get this, you tell somebody play the violin, they go, beep, 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 that's always been the idea. But as you can hear, it can happen that the children sound really good, but they need good instruction, and they need, like they're getting, and private instruction also helps that to happen sooner and for them to become more successful. So, because that startup period is so long, we wanted to give the children a longer vision of what they could sound like if they hang in there for a while. Because, 7th grade comes along and there's all kinds of new options for them to choose from. And if they have this memory of what they can sound like in another year or two, that might keep them motivated to continue. The third reason we wanted to do this was I hope to break down some of the misconceptions about the Aber Suzuki Center. When we talk about Suzuki method, many people think we only teach 4- and 5-year-olds, and that couldn't be further from the truth. We have students anywhere from infants in our early childhood program all the way to, I think our oldest student is 85 years old. So we take anyone, and in fact, because of this event, we've had a few students who have started private lessons in our program, or anywhere. We don't care where they do their private lessons, but we do want, it's great if they can take some study privately and supplement what they're getting in school. And lastly, I want to talk just a little bit about the fact that people sometimes see our children, the students that played for you today, and think, oh, for them this is their #1 activity and they must practice 3 or 4 hours a day and all that kind of stuff. And for some of them that may be true, but for the vast majority it isn't. We don't have any requirement about what priority music has in your life. It just looks that way because when you have a very trained faculty, a well-experienced faculty, I should say, with very high degrees and so forth, with lots of experience, when you have parental involvement, like you're here today, when you have a proven method by which to teach, you can't help but have success. And when the kids are successful, that brings more success. If they're successful at doing something, then that motivates them to want to practice more and to achieve new heights. And so what you see looks like kids who practice hours and hours and hours a day and don't do anything else. But I bet you, if you ask any of these kids, they're probably involved in sports. In fact, I know because I hear the excuses for why they don't practice. But they, as much as they want to. But they're in sports, they're involved in student councils and plays and all kinds of things like that. So we hope that you'll maybe come into our open house. We have an open house on January 17th from 9 to 12:30, and you can come and observe. If you'd like to come and just observe a private lesson, any of the teachers would be willing to let you observe the lessons, and also if you want to even have a trial lesson, you can try that as well. So one other just now totally different announcement, and that is if you order pizza, we're going to go down to the courtyard and to the right, so we'll be on this end of the courtyard. We had a little bit of a mix-up as to where we were going to be located this year, so we don't have chairs, but since we've all spent most of the morning sitting, we didn't figure you'd mind standing up. So we have some bistro tables and other tables that you can stand. So if you paid for pizza, it's down and to the right, and just follow your nose. Thank you so much again for coming, and we'll conclude with Old Joe Clark.